On this episode of Donate Lifeboat, a little look around the farm, if you will, preparing for winter and frigid temperatures coming into the area. I've got to get some firewood ready, and I'm way behind because, well, I spent most of the fall sailing. So come along with us, and you can take a look at how I get ready for the winter season.
Firewood!
Early in the spring, I had dropped a very large tree that had been struck by lightning several years ago. This tree had kind of reached the point where it was becoming dangerous, and I was a little worried it might fall on my barn, so I decided to drop it. I kind of left it in place and walked away after just logging it up and let it dry out over the summer. And here we are, finally dragging it up the hill to the log splitter. And I'm going to section this thing up, and we're going to make some firewood out of it.
Numero uno. Yep, I'm not moving that.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think this tree is ash. It's got a white flesh with a red center, a fairly rough textured bark. But if you can tell me what it is for sure, put it in the comments below. I left most of these sections about telephone pole length, 30 to 40 feet long. And at about 15 inches around, they are brutally heavy. But the Kubota here, it does a fantastic job dragging them up the hill.
That'll do it. Oh, that baby is... I guess we're gonna go right here. Okay. That's a big one. Yep, she's coming along. Look at the drag track.
I'll have to say the Kubota tractor is really the most useful piece of equipment on the property. The absolute best thing I ever bought when we moved here. When I moved in, the original owner or previous owner had left his John Deere tractor behind for me to use for about 9 months. And I tell you, when he came back to take it, I almost cried because I use the thing so much around the property doing this kind of stuff. Even taking my trash down to the street, I load it up in the bucket, the cans, and I drive it down there because it's such a long way down the gravel driveway and it's just brutally rough. So the tractor, it sees an enormous amount of use. and I'm thankful to have it. Susan and I purchased this property October of 2020, and it's 7.25 acres. We're surrounded by creek, and of course we have the pond, a really beautiful wooded area, and we've spent a lot of time and effort landscaping the property and kind of just making it our own. We just absolutely love living here. I can tell you with the utmost certainty, we are house broke. I had lived across town in Baldwin at another place on Elm Street for 18 years. So when we sold that, kind of at the top of the market, I had 18 years worth of equity, and we were able to secure a interest rate just below 2.25%, which really made this purchase possible. It's one of the nicest properties in Baldwin, and it's been a joy living here. But boy, I didn't realize when I moved here the immensity amount of work that it would be. Mowing this place is a full 7 hours. You can do it in one day, but I typically break it up into a couple of days. And then there's this firewood situation here that each year I need to harvest some firewood and get it logged up and ready to burn for the winter season. We're on propane, and filling that propane tank more than a couple of times a year, it really hurts. At about $750 to $800 a tank. So we supplement our propane heat with firewood. We have a wooden insert log burning stove, and it does a fantastic job. I can really heat up the house. Last night I had it up to about 80 degrees, and it had just about run you out of the living room. But at that temperature, circulating the fan on the furnace, it really moves the heat around the house well, and we don't have to use any propane. Even on the coldest of nights, around -14. Now, I will say some rooms of the house will use auxiliary heaters. I've got some heaters in the basement to help keep things warm down there because, heat rises. Specifically in a couple of bathrooms, we like to keep warm so we don't lose any pipes or anything like that.
It's my Kubota 525. It's about the biggest home consumer tractor they make until they get really expensive. Upwards of 30 grand and up. All right. And of course, if you're going to do your own firewood, you got to have yourself a still. This is the Farm Boss. It's a new saw. My last one wore out. It was 23 years old, and then I had to go buy a new one. So darn it. No, I cut down the equivalent of a small forest with my last saw, and it was a smaller saw. This thing's huge. And it'll make butter out of these logs.
I apologize. I didn't realize this song track was going to go into some techno dance music, and that's just not me. Let's get back on track. I really kind of enjoy doing this kind of work. I've never been afraid of hard work, and honestly, now post-transplant, it's kind of a miracle. It's kind of amazing that I'm able to do this, kind of brutal physical activity. Certainly, I'll pay the price with my body. The next couple of days, I'll be sore, but I think doing this stuff around the farm, it's really when I do my best thinking. I love nothing more than just cruising around on the lawnmower for a few hours with my headphones in and just kind of letting stuff process, just kind of working the brain. And that's, I think, when my best ideas come to me, really. With everything sectioned up, it's time to run over to the splitter. Let's make some firewood. This is a 28-ton hydraulic ram, and it makes very quick work of hardwood. I store my firewood in these old IBC totes. These are from shipping, and the plastic liner that is usually inside them has been removed. These are great for storing stuff. These are great for moving things around the property. My tractor has a forklift attachment, so I can pick these up and put them wherever I want to. I can stack them up. It's really a wonderful way to store your firewood, keeping it up off the ground, and also allowing air to circulate and continue to dry the wood out. This is some walnut that I'm splitting. I'm splitting kind of a mixture of wood today. This walnut tree was given to me by a neighbor up the road. He was dropping it, getting it out of the way so he could build a big brand new shop. And he said, hey, if you can move it, you can have all of it. So I took it. It's a little fresh yet. It's got about one season of drying on it. I'd really like to see it have 2 seasons before we're burning it. But I've burnt some of it, and it burns pretty well. So we'll be kind of lacing it in with, I think I've got some hackberry, and then I've got that ash. So it'll be kind of a mixed variety of burn. And that's really probably the best way to approach your firewood, is to mix it. Unless, of course, you're sticking with hedge. I love hedge. But like in the daytime, you probably want to mix a little bit of hedge with a lighter wood so it burns a little bit cooler. But at night, I will stuff the box full of hedge wood, and it'll stay just blisteringly hot all night long. It's pretty amazing. Now I've got the forklift attachment on the front end of my tractor. And as you can see, I'm able to pick up this tote. If I had to guess, probably somewhere between 800 and 1,100 pounds. My tractor will comfortably lift about 1,800 pounds. Much more than that. It gets a little scary. It gets a little tippy. I need more counterbalance. My tires are full of beet juice, of all things. Yes, beet. I said beet, B-E-E-T, just like the vegetable. Beet juice has a high sugar content, and it doesn't freeze. It has a natural antifreeze property to it, and it's a natural product, so if it were to leak out into the environment, it's not going to damage anything. Farmers in the past have used high concentrations of salt water for this, but it's been found that really starts to degrade the inner wheel, causing rust and stuff like that. So there's a guy in Baldwin that you can call up, and he'll come fill your rear tires full of beet juice. And that provides about an extra 750 pounds of ballast weight, so I can lift really heavy objects with the front of the tractor. Pretty cool. So I've placed this tote full of firewood on my back deck here. This is our southern side of the house. So it's convenient. It's covered. We can open the door, grab a few logs, and the fireplace is right there next to us. So it's really a kind of an ideal setup. And as needed, I can take the tractor and move the empty tote, go grab a full one and bring it back up to the deck. Even in the dead of winter with snow on the ground, the tractor moves around great. So there's no shortage of firewood, and you don't have to haul the stuff by hand. I think the first year we lived here, we were having Logan go out and fill a canvas bag with firewood. And I said, hell with this. This is terrible. So we decided to start putting the totes up on the deck. And it's been great. It's worked real well.
Home is where the flock is. I'm not sponsored by Purina yet. There's the girls. Hey guys. What's up, ladies? I just gave them water, so they're like, yes, water, thank God. You guys, I feel like I fed you yesterday and you're already empty. But you got plenty on the floor to eat. Chickens are work. And doing chicken chores in the winter is not much fun. Keeping them alive, keeping them their water from freezing. Try to clear this little lip here. It makes my door hard to shut. I need to cut this little thing off, make a little gap there. And I got to open the window. It's heavy of ammonia in here because they're all cooped up. I close the window, and this is usually wide open. I put that cover on the coop. That's northern, and we don't want northern winds blowing on them. But I can open this window a little bit and help get a little bit of air circulation in here. Unfortunately, they're not allowed to free range here on the property. There's too many predators. Here's the creek. This surrounds the entire property. It goes around the back over there. Well, it surrounds half of the property. But yeah, the coyotes and the hawks and the owls. There's great horns that nest out here in these woods. And chickens are fair game. And they get picked off one by one. So they live in here, unfortunately. See you later, ladies. Oh, I got to open that window. There we go. Window's open a little bit. Got a little air gap. This is the egg box that up and you can reach in there and get your eggs out. These guys have not produced yet. They're juveniles. I'm kind of surprised they haven't put eggs on yet. I need to throw some oyster shell on them and a little more high protein food. And hopefully they'll start kicking some eggs out. It's been a hard year for chickens, I feel like. My big girls, they haven't produced for quite a while. There's greenhouse, everything's in storage in there. Sometimes I plant a garden here, onions and potatoes. Squash. The squash bugs always get it. Here's my solar system over there. You've seen all that stuff. Hey Jake, what's up, bud? Why are you limping? You limping a little bit? No, you get a little bit. Let's put you inside, dude. Come on. Hey. Go on, get. Put my gloves down. So, this is the place. Certainly a lot more pretty in the spring and the summer. It's gorgeous in the fall. Let's go look at the goosies. See how our pond is doing. Something red over there. I don't know what it is on my dock. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Hey, goosies. Where's the ducks? Hope the ducks are around. Where's my ducks? Oh, there they are. Just on the edge of the shore there. Thank goodness it's thawing out some today, because if this freezes solid, they're in a lot of danger of coyote attack. I've fenced, as you can see, that's 420 feet. I put that in, was that spring last year, I think? Summer? I guess it was summer. That really helps keep predator out. The deer still come in. I didn't slow them down at all. But yeah, if the pond freezes solid, the coyotes can walk out here and just get them. And we had that happen last winter, and it was just kind of devastating. We lost, I think, about 8 ducks and 2 or 3 geese. 2 of these guys came back. They had flown off, and we got Mama Goose back, I think, the curly feathered one, or maybe she didn't leave. Gray came to the door and kind of rescued himself, and then this white slicky, she was found on the other side of the woods over there in the neighborhood. Somebody's left these red things on my dock. I don't know what these are. Oh, they're snowball makers. Okay, that makes sense. All this rope is from my fountain I brought in. Normally there's a fountain out here, and I brought it in a couple days ago, and the rope's it's going to need replaced. It's still rotten. Next year, new lines. Barn down there, more chickens. Great Pyrenees are living in there. They're supposed to be patrolling the property, but I got to get a gate. I need a gate for my driveway. This is the fire pit. This is usually much better kept. It looks like hell right now. This is a great place to hang out in the summer. You get a little bonfire action. So yeah, I've got fencing from the barn out and across the back of the property. I've split it. And then beyond the fence is a whole nother wooded area, the creek. But then the fence comes up along the creek over here. I've got one section on the spillway here I need to connect up. And there's fencing along the bottom of the dam. Some lady's chasing me. What are you doing? You ain't got no coat on. No. Nice, my ass. It's not nice.
The oven's been on for a long time.
Oh, yeah, I got to bake that sourdough for that lady.
Yeah.
Anyway, orchard over there.
And so the fruits of my labor. It's a lot of work to do all this firewood each year, but boy, it sure is worth it. Sitting in front of the fireplace, watching a little TV or listening to some music, hanging out with the dogs. It's always really pretty wonderful. There's something special about a fireplace. The heat that it gives really just warms you to the bone. It's so different than forced air heat, and we sure enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, a little look around our property and kind of the day-to-day life around the farm. Thanks for watching. Why not watch Donate Lifeboat from the very beginning and see all 60 episodes? And hey, if you like the channel, why not consider joining my Patreon and help me out a little bit?